to come with me? Come on, get your horse. Let's go for a ride.
Is that an order?
No, Ruben, it's not an order. It's just...
But I'm sorry, but I have a lot of work to do over at the stable.
Excuse me, but you seem a little bit... well, strange. Is it because I was late?
It's not because you were late. It's okay.
Okay, then. I'll be right there. Now I will know who your lover is, Melina.
Hey! What do you want? Did you lose something? What is going on here?
I want to believe that what I'm thinking is a stupid idea, Sergio.
What's going on, Fabian?
What's going on? I'm going in, so move.
Baramate barikena namekena kawakapu.
Ebu, relax. Wewe umeniambia ni kubaya, bahali yake anakimbia. Wewe pia unakimbia. Mnakimbia nini?
Mwicha leo. Mwicha.
Nini kimefanyika? Sasa.
Atuachi.
Hands up. You are arrest.
Angalia huyo vizuri, angalia mrembo vizuri, angalia msichana. Umemwona wapi?
Mimi si tu huyu mama.
Mimi ni mamako, hauna adabu hata kidogo.
Mogoga. Mogoga. Hii hapa unaona? Yani ni keki, ugali Mogoga.
Unacho usuli wa ugali ni mocha, vitamini zake yani unacho ni kitu imekombiniwa pamoja, haina cholesterol, haina
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. You're watching the Lunchtime News. Glad to see you again, 2023. This is the first broadcast I'm bringing to you after taking a break for quite some time. Thank you for staying with us and glad to have you with us. On sign language interpretation is Susan Thuku on this important day that the Cherera 4 hearing continues. But before we get to that, let's interact on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. We begin with President William Ruto has signed the Independent Electoral and Boundary Amendment Bill into law. The bill, which was considered and passed by the Senate last week, sought to alter the composition of the selection panel that oversees the filling of vacant positions in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The signing means the allocation of the Parliamentary Service Commission will reduce from the current 4 to 2 out of the 7 members of the panel. It further allows the political parties liaison committee to nominate 1 member to the panel. This translates to a panel that will consist of 1 member each drawn from the Public Service Commission, Political Parties Liaison Committee, and the Law Society of Kenya. The Parliamentary Service Commission and the Inter-Religious Council of Kenya will each have 2 members.
And I suggest you exclude all the attendant issues around there. You can and I suggest you exclude all the attendant issues around our electoral.
All right, let's cross over to the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development in the county of Nairobi, where the Cherera 4 hearing continues. Let's cross over and listen in.
Final collation was done, and there was no provision for intermediate, preliminary, or in between printing of results.
Less than 27 constituencies, so this system could be able to show you the result. Less than 27, or maybe when you are remaining with 5 constituencies, you can still, if you have access to that system, be able to know that this is where
no one was stopped from going to the tally place to check with our officers who are working there.
Now let's come to the meeting after the persons you refer to, the elders, have left. I want you to clear the air. Marijan comes with the result. The commissioners are given copies according to you. Did any of the commissioners say this is not the result? Did any of the commissioners at that sitting say these are the figures, this is not the result?
All they said once they saw the final tally was to say this is not acceptable. Nobody said this is not the result.
So can I take it from there that all commissioners accepted the result?
It would appear to me, because the issue of moderation would not have arose if that was contrary, if there was any contrary opinion.
Question number 2, did any of the commissioners say, I need time? Listen to me very well. Did any of the commissioners say, Mr. Chairman or fellow commissioners, I need time to go through this result so that then a decision could be made whether it was necessary to give them time or not to give them time?
I don't recall anybody asking for time. The only place where time was sought was when we were asking agents to come and sign the result. And it's one of the agents who said he wants time, but not the commissioners.
Finally, you have been a commissioner with IBC.
Yes.
And you know the system. Assuming for a minute that the commissioners agreed with the elders to change the result, how could this be done?
I don't know.
Was this information already in the public portal?
We deliberately, as required by law, set up a public portal where the entire results were actually deposited. And for 6 days, we've had the portal being accessed over 38 million times. I think 38 or 380 million times, 380 million times or thereabout.
If I followed the evidence well.
And if it was accessible publicly, there were many entities that had access to the results and could do their own tally. Meaning, therefore, anything short of the correct result IEBC announcing would have been instantaneously challenged with figures and facts.
And if I follow your evidence very well, is that then to achieve this tampering with about 233,000 votes required that you change the result at the polling station. That is from 34A. The only way you are going to achieve a change in 34C is first you have to interfere with 34A.
The suggestion was to move the 233, 211 to rejected votes at the C level.
Which means you have to distribute them in.
Well, I have no recollection of how they envisaged it will be done. I don't know how they was proposing. But the suggestion was move these results this candidate has won with to rejected votes, so that there can be a parity, which would mean a runoff.
Thank you very much.
Maybe just a clarification. When you had a meeting with the National Security Advisory Council, led by Mr. Kennedy Kihara, did you feel threatened in any way for their proposal to moderate the results?
Of course, the tone of the message was threatening, because when we were told there are already skirmishes, the fights have begun, if you announce whoever you want to announce or whom we think you are announcing, there will be a bloodbath, and the blood of those Kenyans will be on your hands. I mean, it was really obvious that we are being forced to think in a particular direction.
So then, arising from that kind of feeling,
Former IEBC Commissioner Abdi Guye defending his conduct on the 2022 general election. This is after President William Ruto formed a committee that will investigate the conduct of ex-IEBC commissioners. My colleague Kamche Menza is on that bit. Be sure to catch up with the latest in our subsequent bulletins later in the day. To other matters, the Kenya Livestock Marketing Council has urged the government to deploy enough security personnel to counties experiencing cattle rustling and inter-community clashes so that calm can be restored and prevent more loss of lives and property. Kenya Livestock Marketing Council Chairperson Drought further noted that although the national government has promised to tackle insecurity, there is a need to involve the local communities to avert revenge attacks to secure long-lasting peace.
Habari ambayo tunaweza kusaidia serikali kumaliza shida ya cattle rustling and the killing of our people. Tunapongeza serikali kwa kujitokeza na kuonyesha ya kuwa inataka kumaliza mzozo baina ya jamii na mambo ya jamii kuibiana ng'ombe na ngamia. Kuna program inaitwa traceability. Mnyama anawekwa kitu ndani ya mwili yake. Inasema inatoka sehemu gani, ikipelekwa kwa market inaweza kuwa trace.
Unaona ng'ombe kama ziko na namba haina alama ile ya kawaida.
About 1,141 teenage mothers in Kilifi County have benefited from an empowerment program by Sauti ya Wanawake Organization and Action Aid. The program was launched in response to the runaway teen pregnancy in the region.
3 years after 13,000 girls had their learning cut short by pregnancy, 1,141 of their colleagues have been handed a lifeline.
Nilipata ujauzito nilikuwa niko class 2 na nilikuwa na miaka 13. Hasa wakati nilipokuwa nimepata ujauzito, familia haikunipenda vile. Mamangu peke yake ndo alikuwa akiambatana na mimi kuniambia, acha mawazo mengi, wewe bado tu ni mtoto wangu.
Today, 200 girls are receiving their certificates after completing technical courses, courtesy of the Sauti ya Wanawake Organization and Action Aid.
Madamu kanishika mkono na akanifunza mpaka nikajua. Nilipojua saa hii nashukuru kwa sababu nimepata msaada. Saa hii kwa vile leo tumegawanywa vyombo. Kule kugawanywa vyombo imekuwa bora zaidi, nitajitegemea mwenyewe.
Lucky Mwaka says learning has taken a different form for these young mothers and the future is now in their hands.
Takwimu miaka ile ya nyuma zilijitokeza kwamba Kilifi County ilikuwa na over 13,000 teenage pregnancy. Kwa hiyo sasa hivi ni miaka mingi imesonga na unaweza ukajiuliza wasichana hawa ambao walikuwa katika teenage pregnancy wako wapi sasa? Wengine wao ni hawa ambao wako hapa, waliweza kujiunga na vyuo vya ufundi kupitia kwa shirika la Action Aid na lile la Sauti ya Wanawake, na sasa hivi wamehitimu.
Imekuwa mwendo mrefu sana, mwendo ambao umechukua miaka 5, na sasa wameweza kuenda katika polytechnics ambazo tumefanya kazi nao hapa Kilifi. Wameweza kusoma, wamepata ufundi.
Kilifi is among the counties struggling to shake off the bane of teen pregnancy. Such initiatives are being used to counter the vice with the hope of changing the lives of young mothers for the better.
Naomba county government mutujengee mahali kwa kazi, tunaweka mashina na tunashona, na mkipata maoda huko kwa mashule mnatuambia tunafanya kazi ili tusaidike maishani.
Still at the coastal parts of Kenya, there is an induction for members of parliament. My colleague Michael Mondiga is on that beat. He is in Shanzu. Michael, good afternoon.
Mchuma, a very good afternoon to you. Indeed, you're coming to you live from Mombasa. Today is an induction of House of Committees inside the National Assembly. And what has happened today, we're expecting that there'll be an induction whereby they will be told about on how to go about executing their mandate in different committees of the National Assembly. But before it went on, all the MPs of the National Assembly unanimously walked out of the induction workshop on the basis that if the NGAF funds and CDF are not given priority by the Treasury, then no business will be conducted here in this induction and also in the National Assembly. But to go further into it, I'm hereby joined by MPs just to paint a vivid picture on what has transpired today. Mheshimiwa, welcome here. Just tell us your name and what has happened today on regarding the matter of NGAF and the CDF and MPs unanimously walking out of the induction.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Kenneth Kazungu Tungule. I'm the MP for Ganze. Actually, today the MPs walked out of the induction workshop just because the government has not fulfilled its promise that it will be sending a CDF into the computer accounts. So when we started the recess at the 1st of December, we had been promised that 2 billion is going to be disbursed into the constituencies, but as we speak right now, this has not happened. So MPs are under a lot of pressure because schools have opened today and they are not able to issue bursaries. That's why we decided it's not important for us to continue with an induction workshop while we have the problem of school fees that is bedeviling a lot of our constituents.
Okay. And going forward, what are you planning? Members were saying that they need somebody from the Treasury just to come and address them. How is the way forward from now?
Yeah, we want none other than the CS Treasury to come and address the MPs and also give us a firm promise, the roadmap of how we're going to proceed after this, because it will be untenable for MPs to sit here for a whole 2 weeks discussing issues to do with how they are going to implement their roles. Whereas right now a lot of students have not gone to school because they still lack bursaries. So we expect the CS to come, or if not the CS, then a senior official from Treasury to come and address the MPs about this issue.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm also joined by another MP just to bring us up to speed. Mheshimiwa, then you have discussed several issues, but you say that apart from the two thorny issues, the NGAF and the CDF, there's also an issue of school fees. Schools have opened today and your constituents have camped at your constituency office. What is the way forward?
Actually, it's so sad that until today, me as a woman rep, we've not received any funds from the Treasury. And it's so challenging that all the children are at home. Parents have been on our shoulders, on our neck, asking for school fees, and we don't have an answer for that. Until to date, we don't have anything to offer for the children who are going back to school. But we pray that in the next few days that it will be disbursed.
Okay, and failure to maybe somebody from the Treasury addressing you, will there be business as usual when you go back to the National Assembly?
Actually, there will be no business as usual because we can't work like that. We know that we've been sent to the Parliament to represent our people, and one of the roles of representing our people is just by getting them funds, their funds, and of which they expect a lot from us. So we can't work like that. So the business will not be as usual. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. As they have alluded on the two thorny issues, the issue of NGAF and the issue of NCDF funds, saying that it's what their constituents rely on to ensure that students go to school. And it just happens today that the schools are being opened and mostly students all rely on these funds to have bursaries to go to school. And earlier on, business had started as usual with the clerk of the National Assembly, with the office of the clerk of the National Assembly rather, stating on the priorities or the agendas to be discussed among them on the committees on how they're going to execute their mandate on budgetary issues. And she mentioned one thing, that they are running on the 2022-2023 budget and their budgetary constraints as they stand here. They're working on 2022-2023 budget. So as they sit here, they also be planning a way forward on how to draft an amendment on the way forward on how to see how they're going to work on the 2023-2024 budget. That's all we have from Mombasa County. We'll be back to you, bringing you up-to-date information on what will transpire from this end. Back to you, Mshuma.
Thank you, Mwandiga. Michael Mwandiga reporting live from the county of Mombasa, where we are having an induction exercise for members of parliament. From Mombasa, we cross over to the county of Kiambu in Gatundu South, where President William Ruto is attending a burial ceremony to the sister to the late to the cabinet secretary Moses Kuria. The pictures on your screen are coming live from Gatundu South. We're expecting the leaders to speak at the event. This event will be coming live to you at later on after this broadcast right here on KBC Channel 1. Now to other concerns, President William Ruto has met former and current Jubilee members of Parliament at State House, Nairobi today before he proceeded to the burial ceremony to the sister of Cabinet Secretary for Trade, Moses Kuria. Now, Yala, Member of Parliament, among other lawmakers, met the head of state at State House. Now, let's have a look.
How are you, Madam? Very good. Laman Nagan. Very Bahati. Very good. Very good. I did. Maito. How are you? Are you alright? Very good. Riji. Yes. Muko salama. Very good.
Anglican Church Mbeere Diocese Bishop Dr. Moses Masamba has urged stakeholders in Mbeere to support education for the benefit of future generations. Masamba said collaboration between teachers and parents in Mbeere would ensure children do not miss school due to the ongoing drought. He was speaking during the unveiling of a foundation stone at St. Joseph Kamaunji Church in Kiambere, Mbeere South of Embu County.
Mvua ilinyesha na ikunyesha ya kutosha, kweli ikimalizia ikawa ni ndogo. Kuna familia wengine hapa mbele hawana chakula ya kutosha. Kuna sehemu hapo ndani ambao chakula haitoshi. Tunaomba tusaidiane wale wako tuko na chakula yetu ili kusionekane familia ama watu ambao wanakosa chakula. Sana sana pia kwa shule tunangoja tutafunguliwa. Tunaomba wale mandriver wetu magari yaendeshwe vizuri, wanafunzi waweze kufika shuleni wakiwa wazima, na pia tunaomba walimu wakuu mahali wazazi wamepata changamoto wakijitetea mtawasikiza, na pia waweke pledges vile wataweza kulipa karo zile wanatakiwa walipe.
The top student at Maseno School in the recently released 2022 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, KCSE, says he wants to pursue medicine and become a doctor in the future. Michael scored an A-plane of 84 points, breaking what his family terms as a long-standing record.
Sean Michael Ngweno is as happy as he has ever been. The joy of beating the odds to post a perfect score is evident days after the announcement of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Examination results. The Maseno School alumnus scored an A and now plans to make his dream come true.
Ningependa kuwa daktari katika university tajika nchini humo ama hata nje ya nchi.
Michael did not only excel nationally, but he also broke a long-standing family record.
Ninefurahi kusikia mjukuu amepata hizo alama za 84. Nafikiri kwa familia sasa yeye
Lydia Anyango says she is not surprised by her son's performance. Michael has often done well in school.
Na tangu azaliwe, Sean alizaliwa with victory. Hakuna siku alionyeshapo dalili yoyote ya ulegevu kwa masomo. Tangu azaliwa alikuwa mtoto anayeshinda kila mtu kwa darasa.
He says he hopes to become a doctor, a lifelong dream inspired by the need to give back to society.
You're watching the Lunchtime News. Thank you for your company. We are taking a short commercial break. We'll be back with more, including news making headlines in the world of business and sports. Stay with us.
To get Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 as your skiza tune, dial star 811 star 967 hash.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 to 6.
To get Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5, dial star 811 star 967 hash. Star 811 star 967 hash.
Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ODPC, was established under the Data Protection Act 2019. The office's key mandate includes regulating the processing of personal data, ensuring the processing of personal data is guided by the principles set out in the Act, protecting the privacy of individuals, establishing the legal and institutional mechanism to protect personal data, and providing data subjects with rights and remedies to protect their personal data. Join the ODPC as we commemorate Data Privacy Day on the 26th and 27th of January 2023, starting 8 a.m. at the Kenyatta International Convention Center under the theme, Promoting Data Protection in a Digitally Transformed Economy. This event will be aired live on KBC Channel 1 on 27th January from 8 a.m.
This is how we would meet again. Are you taking care of me? It turns out you're hurting me.
She's getting prettier and prettier. Anybody seeing the two of you will know immediately you're related. Join us.
Isn't this supposed to be a meal to celebrate my new job?
Why would you start eating without me? He's such a weirdo. Am I his guinea pig?
What do you want? I really need to speak with you. I have a question for you. Currently, I'm merely your subordinate. But can we be friends?
I know you're worried about him. Boys and their dads. Did I say something wrong?
Well, tell me how you really feel.
You know what matters? Ni ati umerudi kazi. Na kama kuna mtu anaweza kulainisha hii kampuni ni wewe.
Ambia mama hivyo.
You knew kweli. She would do a perfect job.
Kisima drops will have to go on, even without our dear Melissa. So, please join me in welcoming our latest addition to the company, my daughter Zawadi.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News. Welcome back. Let's go back to the KICD where the Chirera 4 hearing is underway and we get to know what is happening as advised by Kamche Mensa.
Mr. Boya, kindly introduce yourself. Speak to the mic and a bit loud. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Boya Molu.
And you have the statement in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Dated?
Yeah.
Date? It has a date?
Yes, 13th of December
2022. And you'd wish that statement to be your primary evidence before this tribunal?
Yes.
Now, there's a big bundle there. At looking at paragraph 4, you say you wish to rely on an affidavit filed in a presidential petition. Yes. Paragraph 4 of your statement.
Of
your statement.
Of my statement, yes, yes, yes.
Now, looking at the big bundle written in volume 2, volume 3 rather.
This is volume, yes.
Look from page 1 to page 15.
Page 1 to?
Page 15. Top right, it's paginated. 1 all the way to 15.
Yes.
Okay, that is your statement together with the document annexed to it.
Yes.
Look at page 4. That affidavit was sworn on which day? Look at page 4.
Page 4.
It's affidavit rather, not statement. Page 4. It's sworn on which day? Page 4.
I'm not following.
Sworn at Nairobi.
Or I'm using
the volume 3, the big bundle.
There are 3 volumes here. There are 3 volumes here, so I don't know which one is volume 3. This is volume 2. Yeah, this is volume 3, yes. Page 4 is this, yeah, okay. Sawa.
So I see the page is not very clear, but you can see it is sworn on which day?
26th day of August 2022.
And you would want those facts to be relied as your evidence before this tribunal?
Yes.
You're aware the issue of the dispute on presidential election was determined by the Supreme Court?
Yes.
But the matter before the tribunal is different?
Yes, the facts remain the same.
The facts remain the same?
Yes.
And you're aware which this matter relates to what? The matter before this tribunal?
It's about removal of my former colleague, Commissioner Irene Masit.
Commissioner Irene Masit?
Yes.
I'll very briefly go to different paragraphs. Let's go to paragraph 7.
Paragraph?
7 of your affidavit.
Okay. Yes.
Now, what were you explaining here?
That I wish to add the following written communication by the chair to the commissioners. I hope you are the one, my statement you are referring to is the one dated August 26th.
Yes. You are referring to appointment to different committees.
Yes.
And you were appointed to which one?
I was appointed to, together with the former vice chair,
yes,
to give leadership to media center and call center.
Right, and that's the document at page number 8. The same document, go to page number 8. Page 7, page 8, you have a letter of 22nd of July?
Yes.
Is that the letter of appointment?
Yes.
That was signed by the chairman?
Yes.
Now, are you aware whether Commissioner Irene Masit was appointed to any?
She was, I think, appointed together with Commissioner Wanderi to deal with security and welfare.
Of security and welfare.
Yes.
Right, let's go to the next aspect. It's paragraph 9. Right, you're talking about the National Tallying Center and its procedure.
Yes.
Right? Now, at the National Tallying Center, when the final results were being declared, Commissioner Irene Masit, was she present?
Yes.
When Chebukati was announcing the final on the 15th of August?
When he was making final announcement, she was not with us. She was part of the team at Serena.
She was part of the team at Serena?
Yes.
And was there an agreement between the commission for some to be in Serena, some at the National Tallying Center?
Of course not.
Sorry?
No.
So how did it happen they went to Serena?
It happened when we had the meeting with the NSAC team at the Boma CEO's boardroom office. We had a delegation from NSAC. They asked us to ensure that what we are about to do, the announcement of the leading candidate, according to them, should not happen. If it happened, then it will jeopardize the stability of the country. So they asked us to force runoff or declare Azimio candidate as the winner. And each one of us were given a chance to comment. 4 of our colleagues agreed with the NSAC that we must.
Commissioner Irene, what was Commissioner Irene Massid's position?
Yes, she was part of the 4 who have supported the NSAC position. Myself and Commissioner Gulia dissented, and the chairman. And then after they left, after the NSAC team left, the CEO came in with the result and gave each one of us a copy. And then a debate took place where our 4 colleagues, Commissioner Irene being one of them, said that we need to moderate the result in line with NSAC demands. And chairman said we cannot sit here and discuss a version of the will of the people. And myself and my colleague Kuli agreed with him.
You've been a commissioner for how long?
I have finished my 6 years.
You've done your 6 years.
Yes.
So I've
been here since 2017.
You've gone through the regulations, the act. Is there any provision, to your knowledge, that permits the commissioners to moderate results before the final declaration?
Not at all, because our role is simply to midwife and ensure that the will of the people is put into a statistical format and announced, not to moderate or to vet or to make any decision on it. The decision belongs to the voters, and they have done it on 9th of August.
That will be all, Mr. Chairman.
I need to leave him, but let me just ask him a few questions. Sorry. Mr. Molu, when Zach, or it's called what? Zach, the advisory council.
Speak aloud a little bit.
I'm saying, sorry. I thought I could. Sorry. When the Security Advisory Council came over, what time was it again?
They came in the morning, but we met them at 2 p.m.
No, the meeting they were saying they want you to moderate the results.
The meeting took place at 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Yes.
How long did it take?
About an hour.
Not still 10 minutes. 1 hour.
About an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But this time there are no results, because Gulia told us there were no results at this time.
CEO was printing the final tabulation. The results are being done in such a way that as you finish verifying each and every polling station and constituency, it's cumulatively gross.
I understand. Yes. But I think at this time when you are meeting NSAC,
yes,
there are no results.
No results before us. We didn't know who the winner is.
So I'm just asking again. So what were you being asked to moderate?
What the NSAC asked us to moderate.
To moderate what results, and there are no results.
Maybe they knew. We don't know, because the result has been on public portal for 6 days. To us, there is no result before us.
Yes.
But the portal has been on since 9th of August with a 99.8% transmission success. So any Kenyan, anybody in the world could have added the numbers and they know their result. So possibly, maybe the NSAC knew the results. That's why they're asking us not to announce specific candidate.
This is Monday. 15 is which day?
15th was on Monday.
But the portal shut down 2-3 days before.
No.
It didn't shut down?
It did not shut down.
Oh, I thought it shut down. I thought there was no live transmission.
No.
Okay.
The portal was for public information. It was on.
Okay. I thought it was shut down.
Even during Supreme Court hearing, all along it has been on.
Okay.
Yes.
And the letter of 22nd of July, you're being appointed to sit in the media, you with the vice chair,
yes.
Cherera.
Yes.
These are presidential elections.
Yes.
Marjan, who is basically your employee, is a team leader for tallying and verification of the presidential results.
Alternate team leader.
You were happy with it? You being a commissioner, being told to talk to the media, and then a CEO is being told to run the presidential elections. You okay with that?
I'm very okay with that because no role is more important than the other.
Okay.
The media I was dealing with is the first of myself and the vice chair are the first of the commission, informing the country through the media, the update, giving update and progress of presidential election, which is of a public interest.
Since
we are also running the call center, where the public calls to seek information, where our returning officers call to seek for help where they are stuck somewhere. So it's a very important role that must be given attention at that time.
I agree.
Yes.
Since the 4 commissioners came on board in September, is it September 2021?
Yes.
Did you take them out for lunch even once?
Did we?
You as a commissioner, did you take any of the 4 commissioners out for lunch? Did you buy them lunch? You as Molo?
As myself?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
My information is that you never even met them. You never had lunch. You never shared lunch together. So basically, but you had lunches with the chairman and the Gulier, you can remember? Several lunches, maybe meetings outside the office, social meetings.
I doubt. There's no such meeting.
No, you didn't go out for lunch with Gulier or Chebukati?
I don't remember specifically going for lunch.
All those years, 6 years? 6 years, you never went out for lunch with the chairman?
You know, we have been there for 6 years, but you're asking me since the other 4 joined us. From the time when the other 4 joined us, we were too busy with the election.
Former IEBC Commissioner Boya Molu appearing before the Justice Agrim Chelule-led tribunal. This is after President William Ruto formed a tribunal to investigate the conduct of 4 ex-IEBC commissioners after the 9th August general election. Now, we cross over and listen in to what Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Akumisha, had to say this as she attended an emergency aid forum this morning.
Have collectively accomplished impressive results. We have many reasons to celebrate these 20 years. The HIV response brought hope to many who had despaired and restored many households that were threatened by the socio-economic challenges associated with the disease. Kenya has the 5th largest HIV epidemic in the world, with the national prevalence at 4.3%. The number of persons living with HIV in Kenya is estimated to be over 1.4 million, with about 10% being children aged 0 to 14 years. Over the period of partnership, and especially in the past 10 years, we have witnessed a 68% reduction in new HIV infections and 57% reduction in AIDS-related deaths. The progress has been achieved through investments in: 1 is increased in-country HIV response health workforce and capacity, including technical assistance and training opportunities. 2, through expansion of laboratory and diagnostic networking. Today, we boast over 12 laboratories for HIV testing, include advanced testing, that is PCR, and genomics testing. Increased access to health interventions through decentralization of ART sites from less than 10 to 3,700 sites across the 47 counties. 4, through meaningful engagement with recipients in the response from not only being consumers, but active partners in the response through participation in research, service delivery, advocacy, and accountability. 5th is through resilient one-country commodity system with generous, consistent support for financing of commodities from PEPFAR, Global Fund, and the government of Kenya. The current administration has committed to undertake health commodity supply chain reforms and transformation to guarantee efficiency in costs and delivery that will include support for local manufacturing.
Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha on health matters. Yusuf Farah, my colleague, is on that beat. Catch up with him in our subsequent bulletins. But before we cross over to business news, let's go to Kamkunji in the county of Nairobi. The pictures on your screen are coming live from the Kamkunji grounds, where we're expecting the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is also the Orange Democratic Movement party leader and also was the flag bearer in the Azimio la Umoja coalition during the August 9th general election. The former Prime Minister is expected to address the crowd as well as political leaders who will be attending the event at the Kamkunji grounds. This is after he arrived in the country from a foreign trip. The former Prime Minister will be accompanied by a section of political leaders who earlier on yesterday addressed the members of the press and said that they will be talking about issues concerning the development of the country. They also mentioned part of the agenda. This, as President William Ruto said yesterday separately, that he is committed to ensure that development continues around the country. Now we take a break and then we'll come back with the business news. Stay with us. All right, time for business news. Welcome. The Institute of Public Finance has backed plans for implementation of fiscal consolidation to rein in on inflation, spur private sector credit and investment. The institute has revised downwards the country's economic growth projection for this year to 5% from earlier projection of 6% on account of the impact of drought, high inflation and an anticipated global recession.
We realized that in 2022 the fiscal gap actually reduced because government reduced expenditure and also performance was good in terms of revenue. And after a long period of high deficit and expanding public debt, there is now a signal that government could be pursuing a commitment to fiscal consolidation.
Kenyans may have to contend with high sugar prices as the common market for East and Southern Africa. Secretariat says it will not stop member states from selling their sweetener to non-member states. The Blocks Trade and Customs Division Director, Christopher Onyango, says member countries with a deficit should consider reducing tariff and non-tariff barriers to effectively compete for local sugar with key international markets that offer better prices for regional sugar.
Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa is urging Kenya to consider reducing non-tariff barriers to facilitate access of the regional sugar into the local market. This, the trading bloc says, will curb the high price of sugar in the country, insisting there is enough sugar in the trading bloc's member states and there is need for strengthening the supply chain to reduce the deficit in some countries.
We have to be very sure that they should be able to access each other's market flawlessly. And we think that with that being achieved at the tripartite, it would be much more easier for the continental integration too.
However, the Secretariat says member states are free to sell their sweetener to non-member states that offer better prices, urging countries facing deficits to seek ways including increasing their production and tax waivers to cushion their consumers.
The commercial countries are competitive in terms of domestic production of sugar. You know, talk of countries like Sudan, Malawi, Swaziland, Zambia, all those, because of I think they are more mechanized, so they are able to produce at relatively less cost, and so they are able to sell their products not just in commercial countries but also elsewhere.
Kenya has been encouraged to sort its production issues and share modalities used in calculating their projected sugar deficit before the 1-year sugar safeguard extension elapses.
Period for Kenya for another 1 year up to end of this year. for Kenya to enjoy those benefits of safeguarding the domestic market as they undertake domestic transformational measures.
This, as Tanzania is among the 3 countries that are close to signing the tripartite free trade agreement after reaching an agreement on the rules of origins with member states.
We are trying, besides facilitating the trade, we are trying also to help it to develop the infrastructure to make it easy for the business and for goods for the movement.
Only 11 member states have ratified the tripartite free trade agreement that seeks to integrate COMESA, EAC, and SADC to boost inter-Africa trade. Benson Ruba reporting for Lunchtime News.
14 Kenyan travel trade partners will be in India for a 3-day exhibition outbound travel mart tourism fair as the country seeks to reposition itself in the Indian markets. Kenya Tourism Board Acting CEO John Chirchir says the outbound travel mart offers Kenya an opportunity to re-entry into the Indian market that was severely affected with travel because of COVID-19 pandemic.
Most markets are signing new contracts because they need to know that the partners they had before are in operation. And so the Kenyan market is going to sign new contracts in India, knowing that the new partners in India are looking for people to trade with that directly. So by KTB carrying the Kenyan industry into the Indian operation and at the OTM, this is actually well thought, and it allows Kenya to sign direct contracts with operators in India.
The representative of the 14 travel businesses will be able to meet with other partner trade in the Indian market and be able to discuss what will work for Kenya, who should be targeted, and what types of offers should be curated for them. Being in India, it's also an opportunity to go out of Mumbai to various other catchment source markets and cities and scope out for increased businesses from those cities.
Our expectation is they will begin to see a very quick return on investment, I would say, and most likely immediately as from, let's say, from April onwards. At least that's our expectations.
Arid and semi-arid counties should focus on water infrastructure development before the long rains to cushion pastoralists in case of droughts later in the year. Food and Agriculture Organization Country Representative Kala Makavi says over 4 million Kenyans in the 23 most affected counties face starvation, and capitalizing on water reservoirs would avoid a repeat of livestock deaths witnessed in the past.
Arid and semi-arid lands account for approximately 88% of Kenya's land mass. In the last year, 10 counties have been categorized in the red alarm phase, while 13 others had been placed in the alert phase, as the country experienced the worst drought in 40 years. During the period, pastoralist communities lost more than 2.4 million livestock, the losses ranging in the millions.
The drought is with us. We see the drought affecting this county, this sub-county, this region. We are talking about almost 4 million of people that are really food insecure, and we have been again really working together in order to address this emergency.
The Food and Agriculture Association of the UN says this is the best time for counties prone to drought to invest in completion of water infrastructure in order to cushion pastoralists beforehand.
Mchanga mzuri, ukiangalia tuko na scenarios mzuri, but what is finishing us is water.
We have been focusing, for instance, on livestock, because we know that livestock is the livelihood of many of the communities of this country, providing feed, the ranch cube, so that we can maintain the livestock alive.
They say building resilience through water catchment would ensure pastoralists can partake in other activities, such as commercialization of feed and fodder production, to diversify their income-earning activities.
That we come again together to build the resilience of the communities. so that we can be able to really minimize the situation of emergency. But we are really strong in adapting and to mitigate the impact of climate change that we see is really negatively impacting on us.
Lakini that one will only happen kama maji yapo. So tunaomba maji, 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 maji.
They also advocate for policies that would curb the effect migratory pests have on pastoral communities. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
Time for Channel 1 Sports News. Arsenal made its fans very proud. But before we get to that, political leaders who have been sponsoring soccer tournaments in the country have been urged to ensure players who excel in those tournaments are mentored to achieve their full potential. Saboti Member of Parliament Caleb Amisi says that it's regrettable that most of the talents are showcased in the tournaments end up in waste since there are no proper plans to nurture them.
Speaking during the Obed Mwale tournament at the Kitale National Polytechnic, Saboti MP Caleb Amisi and Trans Nzoia County Deputy Speaker Obed Mwale called on political leaders who have been sponsoring sports tournaments in the country to ensure that players who excel are mentored to achieve their full potential.
Kweli ukosefu wa viwanja inaathiri sana mambo ya talent, lakini ningependa kucall upon leaders that let us partner with existing institutions, kwa sababu tuko na mashule mengi sana. Kama hapa tuko katika Kitale National Polytechnic, wamekubali kuhost hizi na wametupatia uwanja. Sisi kama county government pia tunaenda kujenga stadium.
He said that it is regrettable that most of the talents that are showcased in the tournament end up in the waste whenever the competition ends, since there is no proper plans to nurture them.
We will end up nurturing talents for long term, not just short term. Ukiangalia leo hii Mheshimiwa Cleophas Malala anaenda kuja mahali hapa, na ukiona ametengeneza ile tournament ya Cleo Malala Super Cup ambaye mshindi atapata 3 million, lakini kando na hiyo pia wataweza kupeleka katika academy kukuza talanta zao.
The leaders donated 200,000 shillings toward awarding of the best team in the event that attracted teams from Matisi and Kipsongo, the transition slums, in the category of football and boxing. They also called upon the county government of Trans Nzoia to improve sports infrastructure in the region to provide a conducive working environment for players to nurture their talents. Kingori Mwangi for Channel 1 Sports.
Njoroge Kibugu of Muthaiga Golf Club, who made the cut in last year's Magical Kenya Open, is among 6 amateur golfers who have been named to represent Kenya at this year's event set to be held between the 9th and 12th of March at the Muthaiga Golf Club. Other golfers on the list include Dennis Mara of Limuru Country Club, John Lejirma of Kenya Railway Golf Club, who won the Kenya Amateur Stroke Play Championship, Jay Sanju of Royal Nairobi Golf Club, who finished runner-up in the Kenya Amateur Golfing Circuit, Daniel Kiragu of Muthaiga Golf Club, who is the best junior player, and Adel Balala of Nyali Golf and Country Club. The Magical Kenya Open, which started in 1967, has become one of Africa's premier golf attractions and is now part of the European Golf Tour.
Going through our own rules of selection, and we do believe that they will make us proud in the next tournament of the Magical Kenya Open.
Arsenal retained control of the English Premier League title race after the 90th minute winner gave them a dramatic 3-2 victory over Manchester United in a thriller at Emirates Stadium. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland's hat-trick fired Manchester City to a 3-0 victory over Wolves.
Clear of champions Manchester City. United had taken the lead at the Emirates in the 17th minute after Marcus Rashford's thunderous strike opened the scoring with his 9th goal since the World Cup break. Meanwhile, Erling Haaland scored his fourth Manchester City hat-trick and took his goal tally for the season to 31 in all competitions as relegation-threatened Wolves were swept aside by Pep Guardiola's men.